why y'all are still flying with Southwest. Like, they do not care about us. We are now paying for an extra seat, and they are embarrassing people of size in the airport.
Yeah, how come you're pointing me out of everybody else when there's women that are bigger than me?
I've flown with Southwest a million times, but today when I was checking in, the guy at the front was like, "Are you familiar with our customer size policy?"
And I was fine. But you're singling me out. I'm just trying to check a bag. She looked at me and just assumed, and I can fit into a normal seat. I can get on the plane and show you. I'm confused.
It's 2026, and actually getting on a plane is looking to be harder than all of the planning it took to plan the flight itself. The airport has turned into Survivor. No Beyonce. And these viral TikToks are showing us in the airport exactly how hard it is for people to keep money in their pocket because they're losing money left and right just trying to travel. In Southwest, is that you that we keep seeing popping up in all these videos? And one of the common things we've been seeing online is people being asked to pay for extra bags and also pay for an additional seat in the event that may be spilling into someone else's seat. But this is just one person's experience here.
So I caused the Southwest flight to be delayed 1 hour. It's unfortunate, but I bought 2 tickets. And the tickets were under the getaway. And how it works is that when they do that, they automatically assign seats. Well, they assigned seats in 2 different rows, and that caused the count to be off. The gate fixed it, but it didn't fix their system for some reason. It was all a lot. It was quite embarrassing on the plane. I felt a lot of shame. Southwest didn't handle it the best, but it's not their fault. They did the best they could, and it's more so a call out to me to continue losing weight, get better, so I don't have to buy 2 seats in the future. I appreciate being here. We'll talk soon.
In this case, I don't feel that this is his fault. He purchased 2 seats, as a lot of people have been instructed to do if they are of a bigger size. But what really stood out to me is that he was saying he felt shame, when I don't think that there's any accountability that needs to be taken on his part. That's just my personal opinion. Now, if the airline has a policy that, hey, if you're a certain size, you need to buy 2 seats, that's an airline policy. I honestly think we got to give ourselves grace. The man said he's working on his weight. And even if he wasn't working on his weight, he paid for 2 seats and their system didn't automatically put them together. And due to that system error, now, unfortunately, this man is internalizing shame over his weight. And I think that's really sad. It's kind of heartbreaking. I think it's admirable that he handled it with such grace, but I just really hope that anybody that experiences anything like that isn't internalizing that, feeling how he was saying he was feeling. And what's very interesting is this is a situation here where specifically the man said that he paid for an extra seat on the plane, but there are a lot of videos popping up online of people who did not pay for additional seating, and I wanted to also show those perspectives.
Yeah, how come you're pointing me out of everybody else when there's women that are bigger than me? There's women bigger than me. There's women bigger than me. Look at this. This is crazy.
So she's showing us here what it's looking like as far as the space, and it looks like the seats beside her are empty, which makes this even more interesting that the flight attendant came up to her allegedly because of the seating and the fact that she may be spilling over into the seat beside her. Now, she didn't directly say that in this video. I'm just using my context clues, so this is all alleged. To get further clarification, and it says here, I can't believe she body shamed me because of my thighs and my... At Southwest Airlines, I've never been so humiliated in my life. She picked me out of the line as if I stole something, requested my ID, and said, I'll need to buy another seat. There were people bigger than me. Pound body shame. And a lot of people are saying the same thing as me. What was the issue if you were the only one in the row? And the creator commented, she singled me out and continued to harass me when I got on the plane. Now that is interesting. And someone posted this in the comment section, but I want to go directly to the source of what Southwest Airline is saying about the customer of size policy. Now, I do want you all to understand, I'm simply reading all of this to you because this might help somebody if they go to the airport who is not informed about the new policies with Southwest. But regardless of whatever people's size, height, physical characteristics, I believe that everybody deserves a certain level of respect. Now, we don't gotta agree with what Southwest is saying here, but we can use this as an opportunity to educate so somebody don't have to waste a lot of money. And it says here on the Southwest Airlines website, what is your policy for customers of size? And it says customers who encroach upon the neighboring seats must purchase the number of seats needed. And you know we had to take it to Oxford Dictionary because what is encroachment? Don't worry, I got you. It means to intrude on a person's territory or a thing considered to be a right. So what they are saying here is essentially if your body is protruding into the seat beside you, you are required to purchase a seat. Now my question on that is, how would the customer know? And an honest question, Southwest, is there a seat outside before they board the plane to know? Because some people, some of us is thick, some of us is thick. So how would we know that? Granted, many people know that that is what they are doing when they sit on the plane. Got it. But as we can see from one of those videos, I don't believe that lady knew she was going to be spilling over into the neighboring seats. But let's continue to read. Customers should purchase the seats prior to travel to ensure seats are available. It continues to say the armrest is considered to be the definitive boundary between seats. In addition, Southwest may determine in its sole discretion that an additional seat is necessary for safety purposes. Now I know a lot of y'all like, hey, what if I arrive to the airport and I didn't reserve a seat? And it's gonna tell you right here that if you haven't reserved an extra seat and it's determined that you are in need of one, this is what's gonna happen according to southwest.com. You'll be required to purchase an additional seat and pay any applicable seat fee at the airport. And I need y'all to pay attention to this because this is what's messing a lot of people up and why they're spending a lot of money. It says here, at the fare available on the day of the travel. Y'all know when you purchase a seat last minute, typically it's higher. I like to purchase my plane tickets about 2 months before I even travel because the day of is ridiculous pricing. Not only that, you might not even have a seat if it's a fully booked flight. So you have two things to worry about in the event that you have not purchased an additional seat and you are in need of one. Inflated prices for the seat and seat availability. And what we just seen happen with the man in the first video, the seat might not even be right beside each other and there might be some sort of system error. And it continues to say, it gets worse. It says, if this determination is made after booking, you may need to deplane for rebooking. So you can get on the plane, get in the seat, because like I said, it doesn't sound like there is a seat outside where you can test this theory before you get on the plane. So you naturally get on the plane thinking everything is kumbaya and you sit in the seat and then them thigh meat start spilling over and the flight attendant is looking like, hey, you a little thick, hey, it's okay. But that's what they doing. They looking like, hey. They are saying they can deplane you. Deplane means to disembark from an aircraft. So they're essentially saying they will remove you from the aircraft. Now that we have an understanding of exactly what's going on, I want to go back to the comments. And this sort of comment has been echoed all around social media. I've been seeing it pop up everywhere. People are saying, this has to stop. Has anyone filed a lawsuit yet? And I'm just reading the comments, y'all. This comment here says, do you think this is a systematic issue or a way for Southwest to make more money? Another saying, Southwest Airlines just sucks. Now, I do want to ask you all, do you think that this is body shaming, or is it just making an observation that people may or may not be spilling over to the seat beside them? Comment down below.
I called customer service yesterday and they said that if there's open flights, like you said, there's 28 open seats, that you guys would just give me a seat. They said if the flight was full, I would have to purchase it. So that's why when you said I had to purchase it, I was just confused.
So the thing with us and our customer service on the phone, we're never on the same page.
Gotcha.
We're never on the same page.
So what is the official policy that if you present like in a larger body, you have to buy the extra seat?
It's like if the aircraft leaves with, even if it leaves with just one empty seat, you're entitled to reimburse for that.
I'm sure it seems like I love coming on the internet complaining about things to you guys, and I have to say I truly don't. It's absolutely exhausting. The airport right now, getting ready to fly to Dallas from LA. I've flown with Southwest a million times, but today when I was checking in, the gate agent, or not the gate agent, the guy at the front was like, "Are you familiar with our customer size policy?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." I called customer service yesterday to prepare for this.
Right.
If the flight isn't full, that the gate agent will give you an extra seat to accommodate you. But no, I was told today that you have to pay for the seat and they reimburse you. And I just want to know, what sense does that make?
That's very unfortunate. This was actually posted by this woman 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago, and today is April 2nd, 2026. As y'all can see. What is also very interesting is we hear the agent she's speaking with say, "Hey, we're often not on the same page. Well, get Southwest, get it together." Because one thing about it, if y'all not gonna be on the same page about something, when a customer calls and then they get to the airport and be told something totally different, that means y'all don't have a standard. And a company as prestigious as Southwest Airlines, in my opinion, should have some sort of SOP, standard operating procedures, something definitive. If this is how they're going to go about business, they have every right to do so. But not having a standard and then trying to enforce something that can't be proven is a very interesting choice, a very interesting business decision to make, in my opinion. Objectively speaking, I don't think that makes sense. She says, how does that make? It doesn't. If you call and you're told one thing by one person that works for Southwest, that should be the standard across the board. Because otherwise, you're picking and choosing. And that's just that's how I'm feeling. You picking and choosing. Depending on who I talk to, what type of mood they having. Did they kids make them mad today? Did I look at you too funny when I came to the gate? It shouldn't be none of that affects whether or not the standard changes. That's the whole point of a standard. And I'ma say, Southwest, put a seat outside. Y'all got all this money, y'all charging people for extra seats. Put an example seat outside, so people can hop in there real quick just to see. Now, if they don't do that and they board the plane and you see them spilling over, that's a different story. That's a different story.
What sense does it make charging people when you're already going to reimburse them? Imagine the amount of people that don't have access to an extra $440, which is how much I had to pay to get on my flight.
$440, y'all, extra. And this is why it's becoming problematic for a lot of people. And it's very unfortunate for her because she sounds like she did the due diligence, but what can you do when you're told two different things by two people who represent the company, Southwest Airlines, allegedly? What do you do?
And I know a bunch of you out there are going to be like, "Oh, just lose weight," or "Oh, well, you're fat. That's what you get." But stuff like this doesn't just impact people that exist in a larger body. This is bigger than me, pun intended.
And she said that they were going to reimburse her. So they're having, allegedly, according to what she's saying, some people purchase tickets because they're a customer of size, later reimburse them for that same ticket. And I'm not even sure if they all getting reimbursed because Southwest might be pulling in the money with this one. I don't know. Oh, and you just know the video's about to be juicy. When you look over and the comments are turned off. Why is the comments off? Okay. One thing I know is when I see that, it was a conversation had, and I gotta see why. Now, it says here, this is not my usual content, but what I experienced this morning at Southwest in Atlanta needs to be shared. I've never been discriminated against with Southwest Airlines until now. I've never bought a second seat in the 13 years I've consistently flown Southwest. She continues to say, the female agent pulled me to the side, which was odd. When I asked her what's going on, she was going to go get a supervisor. She proceeded to roll her eyes and walk off. Then the supervisor decides to show up and to be the face of ignorance. I wish I recorded the other female at the gate. Both employees need to be reprimanded immediately. Southwest needs to do serious training immediately because let us see why. So this is the man who she is saying she had an issue with.
Yes, ma'am. How can we help?
I'm just trying to check my bag so I can get on my flight.
Okay, so
I'm being discriminated against, saying I can't fit into a seat. It is. I've never bought an extra seat for Southwest in 10 years that I've flown, y'all. I can fit into one seat comfortable.
Okay, now I'm gonna say something I know a lot of y'all might not agree with, but if you want to fight with Southwest because they the ones that made this new policy, not me. She said she can fit into the seat comfortably. And I understand that. I also understand that this must be extremely embarrassing to be on the opposite side of somebody telling you, hey, because of this new policy that they did not create, by the way, this is their employer. This is just a place they work to pay their bills. A lot of y'all don't care about your job either. And that's why I'm saying this, okay? When I say you don't care about your job, I mean like you go to the job to do your job and you might not agree with everything, but that's the job. That's what I mean. They didn't write the policy. However, they are the ones that have to enforce it. Do I think that there's a flaw in the system? Absolutely. Get a dummy seat and put it outside, but we already went there. The thing that got me was she said, I can fit in the seat comfortably. And while I understand that the customer is saying they can sit in the seat comfortably, that does not mean that you are not spilling over into the seat beside you. That does not mean that if there is somebody beside you, that you wouldn't be making them uncomfortable if you are spilling over into their seat. You may be comfortable. They may not be comfortable. I am saying this as somebody who is a size 8 women's curvy, athletic, muscular build below. I have sat next to people on a plane who have spilled over into my seat. I'm just being honest. Comfortable for them? Probably. Comfortable for me? Maybe not. Did I raise heck about it? No. It wasn't that deep for me. For me, personally, it wasn't that big a deal. However, everybody feels differently. Everybody might not be okay with that. Everybody might not want to extend that level of grace to the individual next to them. And that's just the world we live in. I'm just being honest about it. And unfortunately, this policy is very new, and change for a lot of people can be upsetting at first. This isn't to say that any of us have to agree with the policy. It's just to say this is their new policy. It is what it is. Maybe they will change it. Maybe they will make a standard across the board so people don't have to go through this sort of stuff. But I will say what's comfortable for you might not be comfortable for the person beside you.
I get that, and I have taken 3 Southwest flights in 3 weeks, and I've never bought a seat. And I paid for an in seat for a reason. And I also have pre-boarding because I have an ankle injury.
And I need to show y'all why I'm saying what I'm saying. She looks great in this dress. Love the color. I want to say this. Objectively speaking, I don't know how big the Southwest seats are. Something about her size made the agent say she might not fit the standard to not have to buy another seat. And I'm only using this as an example since Southwest has not put out any sort of seats outside to show what sizes might be a little too far. So we just gonna have to look at the people that are experiencing what they're experiencing and say, why are the Southwest agents going to y'all, telling y'all you're too allegedly not able just to buy one ticket? So this is what, according to what has been happening, Southwest is saying is too big. So, and I'm not saying this to shame anybody. Southwest ain't put no examples out from what we can see. They're just saying if you spill over. And they are looking at people, certain agents, and saying, this is too big. And we gotta have an honest conversation in order for people to be able to save money right now, because people are getting ate up at the airline. Do y'all know how much it costs to buy a ticket same day? And then what if you have connecting flights? Connecting flights will make it even worse. You might end up paying $400 to, it could be $1,000 for all I know, for an extra seat, not including connecting flights, y'all. And I'm only saying this because if this is what Southwest is saying is a customer of size that's required to buy another seat, if you are going to fly Southwest, you might have to be honest with yourself and look in them. I'm just being honest with you. If you're bigger than this lady, it's a possibility it could happen. I hope it don't happen. If it does happen, you have an abundance of money and this isn't going to be something traumatic or anything like that that's going to affect you or your finances, but this is what's happening. Now, I'm not saying Southwest is right. I definitely think they could go about handling these sort of encounters way better. But let's continue to see what else happened.
Sir,
We can refund you money.
sir, I got here comfortably, and I did not have to buy a seat. I've never had to buy a seat in 10 years. Y'all discriminating against me right now. And I have to get on this flight. I have to be at work at 10 o'clock.
We can refund your money.
So they're telling her that they can refund her or she can buy another seat. I believe she may not be aware of the new changes because she's saying she's been flying with them for X amount of years. And that's why I think this video is so important. I don't want none of y'all to get caught slipping.
So I'm confused. You're literally discriminating against me. And I flew here and I was fine. But you're singling me out. I'm just trying to check a bag. She looked at me and just assumed, and I can fit into a normal seat. I can get on the plane and show you. I'm confused.
And I think, honestly, if it's true, I feel like don't let the customers talk about it. Let them be about it. Let them on the plane. Let them prove it. Because otherwise, this is purely off of the viewer's discretion. Literally, it's off of the discretion of the person who is checking people in. And she might be, I don't know. She might be able to fit into the seat. She might not. What I do know is it doesn't seem that there is a way that the customers can test it.
I didn't buy a seat coming here, so I'm confused. You can see how many Southwest flights I've taken in 3 weeks. I've never had this in 10 years, even with this new policy. I've flown y'all back to back. This is insane.
So she's saying she hasn't experienced this with even the new policy. Southwest got to tighten this up. This is not a good look. Not at all. Because I know they in the business of making money. Like, they're a business. Or maybe they're making money because they getting people with these extra seats. Conspiracy.
I could see if I was 400 pounds. Okay. Wow. I fit into one seat comfortably.
Now, it shouldn't be whether you 400 pounds, you could be 200 and spill over, depending on where the weight is at, because everybody is shaped differently. You could be 180 and be spilling over. I don't know. Perhaps maybe a lot of these attendants is looking and they just like, hey, if you plus sized. I don't know. I would assume this is a plus size woman based off of her size.
Do you have a seat upgrade available?
No, it's not about no, ma'am. They make the policy base on your size. You need an extra seat.
If you can't fit into one seat, yes, I'm clear with your policy. No, you can't discriminate against somebody.
Yeah, that part.
Somebody could be wider than me and need 2 seats. I fit into one seat comfortably. Again, I did not need that coming here, and I've never had this with any gate agent. And I have work to get to. Cannot miss my flight today. I cannot do another.
Now, I want y'all to know, she says she got work in the morning. She can't miss work. Not only are a lot of people possibly ending up paying extra money that they weren't intending to pay on these flights because of them possibly spilling over into another seat. If you get bumped and put onto another flight, you might miss going to work the next day, especially if you're cutting it close. There are so many financial aspects of this conversation. It's interesting.
So I would like to just check my bag if possible and fit comfortably on my seat.
Unfortunately.
So how can I even purchase another seat?
Agent, it's not about the agent. It's the company. It's Southwest.
And I flew y'all and had no issue. No, you don't understand it because I've literally flown y'all.
I didn't say I understand you, man. I say I'm hearing what you're saying. I never say I understand. Okay. I've never been in your situation, so you don't have to go words.
Okay.
I'm saying
what we gonna do? Because I gotta make my flight.
I'm not even sure yet. Give me a minute. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to make this person. Actually.
So I guess if I came up here, I wouldn't have been discriminated against. I was trying to save bag space.
So she was coming up there, I think, to handle something about her bag. And then that's when they looked at her and said, wait, did you purchase 2 seats? You might need to purchase 2 seats. Interesting.
I have to be at work. This is insane. I got here early. This is crazy. I should have never came up here to check a bag. I don't understand. There a seat next that I can buy or something? Because I got to go.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah.
But I don't even want to have to pay for this. This is ridiculous.
At this point.
Because I'm being discriminated against.
Y'all, this is a lot. I do wonder, will there be some sort of legal action people take against Southwest? And just based off of the outrage that has been all over TikTok and social media, I definitely could see it happening. But Southwest, y'all are putting these folks who work behind the desk, y'all putting them in a weird predicament because there is no standard. They are using their own judgment, and they may be judging right and they may be judging wrong, and that should not be the case. Y'all got too much money and making too much money to not have squared this away. I just think this is crazy. Actually, I think this is bad business, and I don't got a dog in the fight. I don't know what this feels like, and for many of us, when we go to the airport, we don't have this sort of encounter because of our size, but I still feel for the people who do, because there is no standard, and it seems like don't nobody know nothing. Like, they know, like the Southwest agents know, hey, if you're going to spill over to somebody else's seat, yeah, they do need another seat, but there is no test. So then You're leaving room to argue. How do you know that? Are you judging me? And then the answer to that is absolutely, they're judging you. Then you have this weird conversation of like, judging me on what? And then like everyone's just looking like, well, do you see you like how I see you? And then the customer's like, no, I don't see me like how you see me. Like you might see me bigger than I think I am. And then none of that should really matter. Do you fit in the seat or not without spilling over? That's all that should matter. This is so messed up. Southwest need to get it right.
How much is the seat? And I've been up here waiting.
You're not gonna be able to sell this.
Because I can't be stuck here. I've already bought my ticket, so we're going to have to make something shake. I got to go.
And then they got to deal with this. They're angry at you, the agent, because you're trying to enforce a policy that your company is now telling you that you should be enforcing on their behalf. And so you getting into back and forth with the customers. You stressed out, they stressed out, and valid that the customer is stressed out and confused because they can't even prove that they're innocent. You just trying to do your job. You didn't even want none of this. It's too much. Like, I understand if somebody was to be like, you know what? I might have to find me another job. Y'all ain't finna set me up. I'm not gonna lie. If I worked in Southwest, I'd probably be like, did you see somebody that was big? I didn't see nobody that was, but you know what's probably happening? They getting on the plane more than likely, and then they probably having a back and forth with the people who are checking people in or working behind the cameras at the actual airport, probably having some sort of back and forth dialogue. It's all in my head what I think is happening. And then being like, why didn't y'all say nothing? Because now we got to hold up the flight. And then we had to do it. Like the flight attendants on the actual plane got to do the back and forth. This is a lot.
I just wanted to check my bag. That's it. I have to be at work by 10 o'clock. I have to make this flight.
Girl, they never, I'm not even gonna lie, ma'am. And I feel horrible that she going through this, but they never cared about none of y'all going to work. They never cared. They don't.
I just want to check this pink bag. I cannot be stuck in Atlanta. I'm sorry.
I don't know what she apologizing for. Like, I wouldn't want to be stuck in Atlanta either. Have y'all seen it? Anyway.
Because I can fit perfectly fine.
She good. I just called down.
Let her go on the plane.
Wrong message.
And prove y'all wrong. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Isn't that like, I just feel like if you gonna charge somebody $200, like everybody just got $200, let them sit on the plane. Let me try it out first. Can I get a test run?
Who are we flying with? As a plus size travel agent and a plus size person, the number one thing that I hear from my clients and also is my biggest concern is flying. The stress that I have from going on a flight and worrying if I'm going to fit in a seat, and the things that I hear from my clients and from all the experiences that they're having at airports right now is unbelievable. So I'm curious, what are your go-to airlines and what are your no-fly airlines for plus size bodies? Put your thoughts in the comments because I have got to figure this out, not just for myself, but for the people that I'm helping.
And I'm just curious, just because I'm being nosy, and there are people of all sizes watching this video. So I want to know who is the airline of choice. People are saying Delta, JetBlue, Delta in comfort or business. Alaskan has seats that have more legroom than others. I flew Alaskan for the first time this year. Great experience. They do have a lot more legroom. Delta, Alaskan, Delta every time. So Delta, Alaskan, and JetBlue is who I'm seeing. And for JetBlue, it's saying roomy seats, affordable, friendly staff. This person is 5'7", 274 pounds. Okay, and they fit comfortably. You know, this is what I like. You know, unfortunately, none of us can control what is happening with Southwest Airlines, but we can still try to find other alternatives. The event that people are looking for different airline options. There seems to be a high demand for people to figure out who would be a good option besides Southwest, because Southwest is getting a lot of slack online right now. Delta, but you might need that belt extender. And I like that y'all are finding solutions.
I'll have more to say about Southwest at a later date, but the thing that just gets on my nerves and really confuses me the most about all of this is if I have a flight from DC to Dallas, and then I'm flying to LA, but my flight from DC to Dallas, I didn't need an extra seat. But then my flight from Dallas to LA, I do. Like, I've been seeing so many things about plus size people and having these issues. And like, sure, nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Seats are uncomfortable regardless. But the consistency is what's killing my brain.
I agree with her. Objectively speaking, this has nothing to do with poking fun at people that may look different than you. That's just being evil. Objectively speaking, there should be a standard.
I function off logic, and that doesn't logically make sense. It doesn't logically make sense. If I am on the exact same plane, and I know Southwest planes, there's a 737 MAX 8, a 737 800, a 737 700, just for a few examples. If I was on a 737 MAX 8 from DC to Dallas, and I didn't need an extra seat, then why would I need an extra seat?
The reason is simple. It's that's what I'm upset about. They are using viewer discretion. Each person who looks at you at that check-in counter is going to have different discretion. They're going to have their own idea of, can you fit in that seat? Some people may say yay, some people may say nay. That is what the problem is. That's why they need to put that get the tester seat. Hey, somebody send this actually don't, they might get mad. But tester seat.
Going from Dallas to LA. And no one that has been defending Southwest has been able to give me an answer for that specific piece. That logically doesn't make any sense. And I'm not looking for anybody to make any sense, because all they're going to be doing is defending Southwest, and they have pissed me off. This never happened to me, but I just don't like seeing all of these anecdotes and examples of people having to go through this when it doesn't make sense.
They're saying the same thing I've been saying. They're leaving it completely up to the interpretation of whoever happens to be working at the gate. This is a recipe for disaster. I couldn't agree more. Yes! This comment says, it's because some agents are lazy and don't want to confront people and create this inconsistency. Here's the thing. Do they get paid to confront people? Interrogate? That might be in the job description, but I can human nature also is, for most people, especially when it comes to their job, the way that they make their money and the way they feed their family, take care of their kids, send money to their parents, whatever the case may be, the way they do that is with a lot of these jobs. So the last thing a lot of people want at their job is confrontation with a customer in today's social media climate, when you know the customer quickly can pull out their cell phone and the next thing you know, you're viral all over TikTok. And then somebody in your face saying discrimination. It's because of my size. It's like, you don't want to be the one on the opposite side of that, which I can understand. I think objectively speaking, we can all understand not wanting to be that person, but somebody is going to have to be the bad guy when these standards aren't able to be enforced effectively and evenly across the board. But that's the issue with Southwest. And so for me, I'm not going to use my human interpretation of do I think you're going to fit in a seat, because you're not about to put me on Candy Cam and have me going viral saying I was mistreating you at my job, and then Southwest, when they catching all the heat and slack, try to do something to me when I never cared that much. I just thought I was doing my job. You see, this is why people don't want to say nothing. And then you get on the flight. I'm gonna wait till you get on the flight. I'm sorry, if it's me, Southwest employees, I'm telling you, I would play dumb. I'm blind, actually. I didn't even see you walk past. I'm like, look, they had on a blanket. I didn't know what they was working with. My eye was twitching. You know, my eye was, the sun was in my eye from the light, from the airport window. It was a hot day. I was flustered, because you're not going to get me to do it. I'm sorry. Make the standard so we can for sure say, hey, I do it then. If you sit in that seat and you spill over, that's a different story. But until then, absolutely not. I'm telling you, I will play dumb. Y'all can say what you want. Because people need their job. If any of these flight attendants catch flack online, y'all know they might go. They might not be there tomorrow. So I'm just not participating in the game. I'm gonna play the best way I know how, which is safe for me in my employment.
Are y'all buying Southwest tickets just so y'all can have Southwest content? Because I am not understanding why y'all are still flying with Southwest. Make it make sense to me. There is too much going on, too much media going on around Southwest and this customer size policy. I did the article way before the policy even changed, and I told y'all what was gonna happen. I was dead serious. I have not flown Southwest since before the policy went into effect, and I will not book my clients with Southwest. To see the way that Southwest has changed, Everything that made Southwest, they have taken away. And the way that they are treating their customer of size is absolutely disgusting. I want y'all to stop booking with Southwest as plus size people. They are not for us. They do not care about us. And the fact that we are now paying for an extra seat and y'all are still not able to get your extra seat, and there are delays and they are embarrassing people of size in the airport is absolutely disgusting. Southwest, you have got to do better. Like, I am absolutely appalled as a plus size woman, as a person in the travel industry, that you would treat your customers like this.
Yeah.
And let me tell y'all, there are other airlines that does support us. Start booking flights somewhere else, because in most cases Southwest ain't even the cheapest airline.
And I agree. If I was a person that was considered a customer of size, Southwest, y'all wouldn't get nothing from me until y'all changed these policies or made the standard to where I could test, hey, is this even a good option for me to get on this flight by sitting in a seat, like a little test dummy seat, or I just go to another airline, give me a little extender, like how the other folks said they doing. Because I understand sometimes there are changes to policy and they have a right to do that. But I just think they went about everything in a horrible fashion, in a fashion that is embarrassing to a lot of customers. And even though a lot of us might not be experiencing it, I would actually feel so bad seeing somebody experience that at the airport, when I know that there was honestly no way that they could have known that they were going to be spilling into another seat, unless historically, whenever they go fly Southwest, they're spilling out of the seat then. And then it's like, okay, you knew you spilled out on these seats previously, but a lot of people that probably weren't paying attention. They probably hey, Southwest is friendly to people of my size. I've never had a problem. So they don't even think have they spilled out of the seat before. And I think there's a way to go about enforcing the standard without embarrassing people and treating people with dignity and respect. And I just feel right now Southwest isn't doing the best with that.
This is what I feel like is a visual representation of what's going to happen with, because I was reading up on Southwest's new customer of size policy. This is what I feel is going to play out. Okay, pretend I'm like the flight attendant and you're you, and you're just gonna pop in your headphones or whatever, get ready for a relaxing flight. Hi, we'll be getting our final takeoff momentarily. I just wanted to come by and offer you maybe a water, maybe a snack or anything like that if you need that. So you did buy a second seat, right? Because you're looking a little... You did it. Okay, so you don't need this, but what you do need is a second seat. It's actually for the safety of the customers. We just want to make sure everybody's accommodated. We can't have biggies. Why is the seat empty though? Is somebody coming to sit here? Did you buy this because you need to have bought this? Yes. Yeah. No. So you won't be getting this. Yeah. No, babe, you're already on your second seat. Okay, we don't need to reach for a third. Next thing you know, it's going to be you taking up a whole row. Right.
What's crazy is the foreshadowing. This lady posted this on the 22nd of March, and currently it is the 2nd of April. One of the things she said when she was talking about the flight attendant talking to her, hey, do you need this? But then giving her the up and down look hey, did you purchase another seat? I kind of feel that's what happened to that lady that checked in her bag. I kind of feel that's what happened to her. And she wasn't coming about her size or an issue about that. She was coming to check a bag. That might have hit a little too close to home, a little too realistic. I need to know what y'all think about this new Southwest policy and the fact that a lot of people are being charged a lot of money for extra seats because they are customers of size. Do you think that Southwest is right or wrong for this new policy? Do you think that there is a big issue with how it's being enforced? Do you think there's no issue whatsoever? And do you want to fight about it in the comments? Because if so, you know what to do, but we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.